I feel good, good, good. I feel good down in my soul. Every time I think about Jesus, makes me feel good, so good, so good. What's up, CDP? This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Ooh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy, yeah, that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. What's up? What's up? I'm coming on camera in a minute. It is dark, but I am leaving for work early. Baby, just cheering about to start school, and I have to be on my way. Y'all, what's going on? What's happening? What's good? I have been getting my rest, been on the phone with family and friends, loved ones. It has been tremendous. It is nothing like keeping your peace. I'm telling you, don't let nobody steal your joy and don't let nobody take your peace. And I mean that. As Tabitha said, it's your business. That's your business. Mm. I hope you all are doing well. I'm coming on camera in a couple of minutes, you all. I see people continue to talk about the Rodney thing. My thing is this: press charges. Call the cops. Are you ready to go to court? It's really interesting. But again, I hope you learned your lesson. I do not exonerate him and I do not convict him. I just observe. Let me say that again. I do not exonerate him and I do not convict him. I observe. Okay? Because we have known people in this YouTuber sphere who has gone to jail because they actually broke the law with real people. So again, I don't exonerate him and I don't convict him. I observe. And I don't have to unsubscribe because I ain't never subscribed. I rarely subscribe to people. And I'm telling you what, I don't. So when y'all be doing them membership only or subscribers only, baby, I just sit and watch if I come to your channel. My God, today. Let me come on. What's up, you all? I hope everybody is doing well. Good to see everybody. Ooh, it's in the morning. Thank God for morning coffee. Oh. So y'all, what's been happening besides the silly stuff? Let me tell you what I am watching right now. I am watching the election results. Cori Bush lost her bid, unfortunately. I'm watching El Said and Haley in Michigan. That's a close race. It's progressive against moderate. I kind of think the progressive is going to win. I think people are saying, you know what? These Republicans have gone to the far extremes. Now, Democrats, we need something extreme. I think some of these Democrats are realizing that with this new wave of a Republican, this Trump type of Republican, you can't negotiate. We've seen them lie. One minute they wouldn't let Obama confirm a Supreme Court, and then they did the same thing. We have seen Donald Trump just get rid of people at will. It's just not a democracy. It's a autocracy, and people are tired of it. So I think the progressives are going to come in, and the bottom line is people are really serious about affordability. They just took a poll, and what's more important to the people is the cost of living, not immigration. I know people want to make that an issue, but not immigration. Healthcare comes in second, but cost of living is the big, big kicker. In Florida, I don't know if you all know, but there's a group called Mesocore. And Mesocore actually builds modular homes. It was so funny because I was telling Tommy about modular homes. Well, Mesocore builds modular homes in Florida. As a matter of fact, they have a subdivision in Fort Pierce, Florida, and also in Gainesville, Florida. And they have homes that run like from maybe 500 square to almost 3,000. And so they are hurricane resistant up to 185 miles per hour. And it's more economical. And they call it Mesocore because it allows you to expand. If you want to expand your unit, you can expand your unit more. So it gives people the option of not being locked into one unit, but you can actually expand it later on. And they have build outs that you can do that. So that's how a lot of people are dealing with affordability. And if you live in Florida, God bless you, because Florida is almost like California now when it comes to affordability. So yeah, what's up, Locked and Loaded? So yeah, so I've been watching those things. Trump really wants to get rid of Janine Pereira. It's funny that he hires all these Fox people until they don't do what he wants them to do. She knows good and well that that man did not damage that pool. They needed a scapegoat. And the conclusion was they rushed the job, which Trump admitted, because they were trying to finish the pool before the 250th birthday of America. And it was a no-bid contract, and the contractor did a botched job. And so instead of Janine Pereira trying to, take responsibility, shouldn't have even taken the case in the first place. She dropped the case. Now Trump is mad at her. Again, you all, it's just, this would have been unheard of in anybody else's administration. But because this man does this all the time, it's becoming normal. And I want you all to check this stuff out. When people do stuff so often and we accept it, it becomes normal. And it's not normal. It's not normal. So I'm checking in on that. Still looking at the Nolan Wells case, and I'm even more suspicious. I really wish they would do what a lot of people have been requesting. Polygraph those people, start talking to those friends, because they were the last ones to see Nolan. If it were a black group of people, they would have had all of them come down to the jail, and they would have been talking to all of them until somebody broke. But this is why I don't think the justice system is fair. This is why I think that if you're wealthy, you get a better shake than if you're poor. This is why I have a problem against the bail system, because at the end of the day, if you got the money, you can get your freedom. I have known so many people who were carted off to jail, presumed innocent, well, not convicted, but found out to be innocent by a court of law, but they've lost their homes, they lost their job because they didn't have money to make bail. innocent people sitting in jail because they cannot afford bail. And a lot of these people were not flight risk. They would easily come back to the court, but because of the system and how it makes money off of those who can't afford it, people stay in jail and they get ruined. And so, if they were law-abiding citizens, about time they get out of jail, if they ain't bitter, they might do something. So I have a problem with the bail system as is. So, but y'all, I've been watching the story about, I don't know. I think the man is trans, but the funeral director, the unlicensed funeral director out of Houston, baby. Now, if that's a real woman, that's a hard-looking real woman. I'm telling you. But honey, Miss Thing was criticizing somebody's shoes and their outfit. And then she said, did your mother forge the documents? Did your mother? Baby, I was hollering. She was reading. Ooh. But this is the thing, though. How you getting a public defender and you telling the court that you are an indigent, that you don't have no money, but you posted $800,000 bail? Excuse me? $800,000 bail. How you don't have no money? But you just posted a $800,000 bail. Excuse me? So somebody is lying. And that's what that reporter was asking. She said, did your mother sign the forged documents? Baby, that looked like a strong queen. Baby, that thing looked like she'll catch a spell and she will, honey, here comes the hurricane, bitch. She will Katrina. Everybody, cow, pow. Baby, that looked like here come the hurricane. I'm just saying. Okay, $2 million estate. $2 million. And then you are unlicensed funeral director, according to the news station. So yeah, that thing right there. So Miss Thing is out on bail, $800,000 bail. So I find that very interesting. But anyway, so I've been really looking at news, and also planning what I'm going to do for Christmas. So it's between going out of state or on a cruise, which is still out of state. So yeah. And if you're gonna go on a cruise, you better start getting it now, because baby, them cruises go up real quickly. So yeah. Please don't eat the lettuce. I wouldn't trust lettuce from no place. I don't care. Baby, I don't know how Jason's Deli is surviving. Baby, because that lettuce is scaring some people. So watch out for the lettuce. And prayers to the people in Spokane, Washington. Those fires were devastating. And I don't know what it is to be in a situation where the fire is getting ready to burn your house and you only have a couple of minutes just to get what you need to survive. And then the next thing you know, as you're leaving, you can see your house burning. That's deep. One thing I can say though, you could always build a house, and I understand the people's sorrow, because you put memories in that house. Children grew up in the house. I mean, it holds memories. It really does. And so I don't ever want to take away people's grief. But the biggest takeaway is you can always rebuild and have new memories. but you can never, ever bring a life back. So for the mere fact that, you're alive and you can rebuild, that's a blessing. But I do not take away people's grief because, you know, you grew up in places, your children grew up there, and it's a lot of things. So yeah, and I can understand. So keep those people in Spokane in prayer, and also the people in the Northeast and all the way to Virginia. They was telling me that they had flooding on Colley Avenue in Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia. So there's been a lot of flooding in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. So please keep those people in prayer because water is devastating as well. So knock on wood, I've just never had that issue. Now I'm going to tell you all, I have been through almost all of the natural disasters. I missed the fires in Florida because I was actually in, I think, Ohio during that time. But I have been through a hurricane. I have been through tornado warnings. No fires yet. Thank God. Now, have I been through an earthquake? Yes. And it was really weird. So y'all remember they had that big earthquake in DC? They had that tremor in DC. Well, some of that was felt in Ohio. So I was living, I believe, in Dayton at the time, and I was in the office building. And so I was in a meeting, and I'm like, am I queasy? Because it felt really off to me. And I kept seeing the blinds move. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, we having an earthquake. And I bolted down the stairs. Didn't take the elevator because, again, during earthquakes, you don't want to take an elevator. I bolted down those stairs. My office thought I was crazy. Come to find out that I was right. They were having an earthquake, and some of the aftershocks came all the way to Ohio. And I knew I wasn't seeing things. It was just really weird. So I've gone through those, and yeah, that was unnerving because you really don't have control over anything, and you feel like very insignificant in an earthquake. So in a tornado, you can move around, you can, and it's good sleeping weather too. I mean, hurricane rather, not tornado, but hurricane, good sleeping weather. You get a lot of rain. Tornado sounds like a freight train. I lived in Kansas. Don't ever have to do that again. But the earthquake is different, and you don't know what's going to fall. It's just really interesting. So, yeah. So, y'all, what's going on? What else is happening? Let me put on my spectacles. So what's going on with this Cindy Starr thing? First of all, I don't know Cindy Starr, but I do know that there was some underage stuff going on. Underage stuff with Cindy Starr. And now what I've read is this person trans? And they said that this person has been on like Love and Hip Hop. This person has been on the Zeus Network, which child right there is like, So what's going on with that situation? With that Cindy Starr situation? I don't know who it is. And I know that I some reason I should, but I don't. So I've been hearing a lot about that. I saw Funky Dineva cover it. So yeah, don't know a lot about that, but yeah. Let me say this to you all too. We have to be very careful. The Youssef situation should have been a wake-up call for the sector. Male, female, no matter who you are. It should have been a wake-up call. I don't care if you're an older man, you do not talk to underage females because it's against the law. It doesn't matter the sex, it's the age. And I think we should have learned from that situation. But let me go a little farther. Parents, especially parents of boys, let your child know that when you turn 18, even if you're in high school, you need to be very careful. I have known people, children, situation where the young man was 18. He was dating a 17-year-old girl. 1 year in the age difference, right? Just 1 year. 1 year. They were in high school together. And they were having relationships. So the breakup was bad. And then the mom got a hold of what was going on. The mom filed charges against the 18-year-old. Granted, a 1 grade difference, that person was sent to jail and was labeled as an SO. Now, 1 year, 1 year difference. What is the moral of this story? First of all, if you have a teenage son in high school that's 18, he better stick to 18-year-olds. Because anything below 18, you will go to jail. You all know that a lot of freshmen enter high school at the age of 15. How do I know this? At 15, I got my learner's permit. 16, I got my driver's license. I was in the 9th grade. So I'm just saying, if your son or daughter, but especially the son, if he's in 11th or 12th grade and he's 18, he better leave those freshmen alone. And this is not what I heard. This is what I know. So if a child still in high school at the age of 18 can go to jail, then you know a man or a woman in their 40s is going to bust it wide open. Now, I don't have a problem with younger, but there is a cutoff. When I lived in Ohio, those young boys loved older men. And I think a lot of it dealt with daddy issues. I'm not going to lie. I think a lot of it dealt with daddy issues. And since some of them weren't getting affection from their daddies, they were looking for older men to fill that role, a dual role, to take care of me and, and I mean, I used to sit with those young guys and say, look, and I never forget because some in Ohio was just plain trash. Not all, but a lot of them were just plain trash. And the sad part about it is they had got turned out by somebody. And so I guess it was a revolving door that if it was done to me, I'm going to do it to them, what have you. So I had to tell that young man, I said, you see them guys up there? I said, they prey on people like you because you're young and you're naive. I said, get your education. Invest in yourself. If not, you're going to be drinking liquor and playing spades just like them and not have anything to show for it at the end. And you want to be grown, you want to hang out, you'll have plenty of time. And then I told him, I'm like, and if you get your degree and you decide that you want to be a hoe, well, be a hoe with a degree, but don't be a broke hoe. And my thing is, I'm not interested because at the end of the day, you're not a good investment. You know, and I'm not really interested. You haven't lived life. And this is what gets me too. It deals with older men and older women. So it's not a man thing, it's not a gay thing, it's not a straight thing. It's just period. Most of the guys who I knew who dated younger men would always be heartbroken and disappointed because those young men would come to the realization that I want to live life. And I used to tell those older guys, I'm like, you wanted to live life. You wanted to hang out with friends. So why are you going to tell this person they can't? And these are young people. So if you're not willing to let them hang out with their friends and stuff, and well, then you don't need to date them because they're young, and you knew that. And at the end of the day, I would say the only reason why you date them because you can control them, because you know they're naive, and they will be dependent on your resources. And I'm like, do you think that's love? When somebody only is with you because of what you can provide for them. And I'm like, and there'll always be somebody who got more than you. Let me put it on the flip side. I've seen women get with these men, build them up, fix their teeth, and when the man becomes presentable, you know what he does? Leave for another woman. I'm like, you only fixed him up for somebody else. Now, is that always the case? No. But do I see that a lot? Yes. My thing is, when you do those types of things, it says, do you not want anybody who is smart? Is it about control? Is it about manipulation? And so you got to ask yourself those questions. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, girl, I'm heading to work. I'm going in early because we have a lot of stuff to do. Baby, we getting a new fleet of cars for Uber and Lyft, girl. Let me tell you something. Meemaw, you right. You right. You are right. Now, nobody ain't doing that. But I mean, yeah, you got to be very careful with that kind of stuff. And my thing is too, what do you have in common generationally? Unless that younger person likes older music and you know, because there are some exceptions to the rules. But Yeah. I wouldn't want to date anybody in their 20s. You don't even know life. You still, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. You need some life behind your belt. What's up, Miss Philadelphia? So yeah, that's some crazy work. That is crazy work. So um, I don't know. Like I said, I heard about the Sydney Star thing, yeah, all of this stuff, but that's crazy work. And I, you just got to step back and say, what is your motive? What is, and then are you afraid? Are you socially awkward? Are you afraid of people your age? So yeah. What's up, Outspoken? What's up, Jay Parrish? So what do y'all want to talk about? And I may talk about it, I may not. It depends on what it is. But I am open because, like I said, I am just heading to my destination. And what I am doing is, though, I am getting to work earlier because I know school is getting ready to start soon, and I ain't about no tardiness. Outspoken, it is not raining here. It is very hot in Texas. It's 80 degrees right now, and the sun ain't nowhere to be found. So yeah, it's very hot here. But I know that they're getting a lot of rain in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. They was telling me again that Colley Avenue in Norfolk, Virginia was flooded. So I'm like, wow. I heard they're getting a lot of bad weather. So today is gym day. So I will be heading to the gym today. I'm ecstatic about that. So I'm gonna work on arms and legs today, and of course, always end up with abdominals. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Outspoken, when I'm trying to beat this traffic, because the traffic is bad in Texas. It is extremely, extremely. Um, oh Lord, it's extremely bad. What's up, Coffee Beans? Yeah, Coffee Beans. I'm a little earlier than usual, but because I got to get to my destination. I don't like barely getting to places on time. I like getting to places on time. And I guess that's a Gen X thing. I have been working with a lot of Gen Zs and millennials, and I'm going to say early millennials, not a problem. Late millennials, oh my God. It's like, can you get to work on time? I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm old school. Yeah. I've always been taught that, hey, on a job interview, you get to the job interview 10 minutes before the interview. Never, earlier. 15 minutes is the most, but at least 10 minutes. Because I tell people showing up too early, it just throws people off because people still working and people have you know, a schedule. So nobody don't want to be hanging out waiting for you, but again, about 10 minutes, yeah. And you can prepare, you can get a view of how things run in the office. And yeah, so you want to do that. I don't see how people do California. What's up, Miss Essence? I'm doing all right. I am doing all right. So did they have the Lunchable challenge yet? Girl, did they have a Lunchable challenge yet? So could y'all please explain what you gonna do with the Lunchables? Do you like get the crackers, cheese, and whatever's in the Lunchable? Do you add something with it? Or how do you have a Lunchable challenge? Do you stack the crackers on top of the meat? How you do that? I'm really intrigued about this Lunchable challenge because people was asking me, was I gonna get in? I'm like, no, first of all, I don't do that meat, all them nitrates in that meat. No, we don't do cold cuts no more. Um, but how do you do a Lunchable challenge? Do you use the Lunchables in conjunction with other ingredients, or do you just use the Lunchable and you just do what you I mean, how do you have a Lunchable challenge? I'm just asking the question. I don't know. The thought was too ghetto for me. Plus, I never would feed anybody that. Yeah, outspoken. I'm just trying to figure out how you do a Lunchable challenge. Because I'm like, you only have 4 items. So I don't know. So I guess you got to get creative with it. So do you just use those 4 items? I'm lost. What are the rules? And I'm not trying to, tear it down. I'm just, from what I understand, do you open the Lunchables and, are we going to see what you do with the Lunchables? Are you going to open it and then from there we're going to see what you're going to do with it? Or I'm just interested to know. I guess you can make soup. That's what I'm thinking. Do you know? I mean, I don't know. Do you make something and include the Lunchable in it? Or is it just the Lunchable? Do you make Lunchable pizza? I don't know. I'm just asking. Okay. I'm just asking. I ain't never heard no Lunchable challenge. I'm trying, girl, a Lunchable challenge. And first of all, I wouldn't know what to do with one because I don't eat them. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go look. If I'm gonna do all that, I'm just going to HEB and buy all nasty sandwich. They have it. Why get a Lunchable? Why you can go to HEB and just get a sandwich and some pasta salad with some coleslaw on the side and get old nasty Gold Peak tea. Okay, she says they can add ingredients to the Lunchables. Okay, okay. I ain't mad at it. I just didn't know how they were gonna do it. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that should be nice. We'll see what happens. That should be nice. Everybody is so creative. So let's see what goes on. I didn't even know when it's supposed to start. So, all right. What's up, Tony Dimples? Everybody is so creative. been watching this Cajun lady, and I'm loving her. She's a white lady, short haircut, and I mean, she makes really good food. I like her demeanor. I like her, you know, and I like Sandra Norwood. Baby Sandra Norwood, Black Recipes. Baby Sandra Norwood is fine as hell. You hear me? And she be stirring and looking in the camera. I mean, I love her. And you can tell she could be hood, but I love how she could just switch it and be so refined. And she wears clothing that can be a little not revealing, but it has a hint of I'm sexy as heck, but she don't play it off like that. So I like her. So I have really, there are some influencers that I really like. She's one of them. Besides the New Orleans Vampire. And I'm gonna tell you, I like him not because of looks. Looks play a little part, but it's more attitude and swag with feminine clothing and a feminine hairdo, but yet pull off masculinity. It's weird to me. So yeah, I gotta see that. But yeah. Okay, Mima. Okay, like I said, I didn't see it, so that's my first hint of a Lunchable challenge. But it's all good. I mean, I really didn't understand. I was trying to get the understanding, so I wasn't trying to be shady or nothing. And I mean, y'all, I don't eat Lunchables, and I just yeah. But I'm sure to be interesting. Okay, I got to check these people out. But that Cajun lady, the food looks so good. So she just made like this cabbage thing. Oh, it looks so good. She had ground beef, rice, stuff, and I love her because she put the seasoning all on it. She said that shrimp, they like shrimp seasoning. Okay, that sounds like neat. This sounds good. Now let me say this. I like how the Mexicans do cabbage in San Antonio, and I've learned, and so they do not put any water in their cabbage at all. They use jalapeno juice, not the jalapeno, but the jalapeno juice, balsamic vinegar, adobo, bacon in the thick bacon, not bacon, but baby, and so it is so good. Green and red bell peppers, so it's very vibrant in color. And the seasoning really works well. They do not put any water in their cabbage, and when I tell you it is good, and I'm not a cabbage person. And I don't know. My mom used water, I guess, for cabbage, and but this cabbage, and the Mexicans also make napolis, which is I think that's how they call it, but it's the cactus, and the cactus tastes like a velvety smooth green bean, and it's so good. Cactus. So I would have never thought I would be eating cactus, but in San Antonio, with them seasons on it, up in there, it's good. It's good. Y'all, I was watching the late Betty Wright, and she was on My Wife and Kids. Baby, Betty White, rather. Let me tell you, I said Betty Wright. Betty White had me rolling. So y'all remember when I think Tisha Campbell was making peach cobbler, and that boy said, "Mama, something ain't right." And then they tasted something ain't right. So Betty White tasted it, and she said, "Okay." She said, She said, "This ain't right." And she said, all up in there, baby. I was rolling. Betty White had me roll. She was such a good actress. She was. Okay. Yeah. I just think it's really good when you can learn from all cultures. This is why I tell people don't close yourself to other people's food. Now, I'm going to say this. I live in San Antonio and I'm still not a breakfast burrito person, but it's big here. Tamales is not my thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, I had a nasty piece of green enchilada and baby, it was good. Now, will I have a breakfast burrito? Not anymore because I don't eat a lot of bread. So the burritos are not appealing to me. I will do a bowl instead of, the burrito. I'll get the protein and that's it. But I do like how Mexicans do their stir fry. I love mole. Again, I like the Napolis, which is the cactus, how they do that. So certain foods that they cook, I really like, and I love how they do their cabbage. Now, that cabbage was everything. It was fire. So, yeah. Now, they have a place, though, in San Antonio that I really like. It's called Afrotech. Afrotech. It is an African Texas restaurant. And they make African food, but they put it in a taco and a burrito and a bowl and a nacho. And when I tell you that jollof rice with the plantains and that chicken and I don't do the burrito, but I've seen it in the burrito. I do the bowl. That food is so good. And so I love the context of them being African, solely African, but doing the burrito and making it Texas. You know what I'm saying? It's a good twist, and it is always crowded. And when Africans eat at their restaurant, like Asians eat at their restaurant, the food is good. So Afrotech is really good. Why don't her family stop the lady from cooking? I'm getting hungry. He said, I'm getting hungry. Pastor Perez Hilton lost all that weight in his mind. He's trending everywhere. Okay, Perez Hilton, how you lose it? I'm going to tell you all this, though. I don't care how you lose the weight. You can lose it by exercise, GLP-1, surgery, whatever, however you're going to do it. But for the GLP-1, even when you exercise, you got to drink plenty of water, but you always going to have issues with face and stuff because, again, you lose weight. Even your shoe size, like a lot of that stuff is in your feet as well. And like I used to wear a wide. I don't wear a wide anymore because my feet ain't wide. And this is why collagen peptides are so important. This is why I think, but as you get older, your body stops producing a lot of the collagen. So you gotta, know what to take. I didn't see it, y'all. And see, I know who Perez Hilton is. I just don't watch a lot of these people, but I got to check it out. What coffee beans? What did I do? What did I do? Coffee beans? Bone broth? Yeah, because it has collagen in it. Yeah, so collagen is very important. So you can take it internally and also externally. There's a lot of that. And I would recommend, again, you ought to get a pen. Get a doctor pen I don't recommend people using the roller for micro channeling. I don't think that's good. The roller leaves rips. You want to jab and you don't want it to roll. You don't want it to tear the skin. You just want it to puncture the skin. And what happens is the skin gets an injury and collagen is produced to heal that injury. And so again, yeah. So I believe that the pen, Dr. Pen, 36 to 16, that's the kind of needles you need, 36 to 16. I usually do mine at 1 or 0.75. And then your red light therapy, and get a mask that's FDA approved, or it's another, but as long as it has the FDA on it, you should be fine. Because you want to make sure that the light penetrates. Let me tell you something. Look, what people get wrong is you can't target weight loss. Weight loss is everywhere. So like people try to target the abdominals. Yeah. Weight loss is everywhere. You know, now I will say it's easier for men to lose it quicker because we don't have all of the fat. Women, of course, childbearing, they have a lot of fat, so it takes them a little longer. Men, not so much, but yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of ways, but I really look at FDA approved or things that are proven to really work. So yeah. And y'all, it's maintenance. Everybody, let me say this again. Everybody gonna get old and everybody gonna leave here. Everybody gonna die. Life and death is inevitable. I mean, but when I look at Ernie Hudson, and if you don't know who that is, he was the guy who played on Ghostbusters. And I admire him and his workout ethic. And he really, after seeing him, I was really inspired to go work out. Because I'm like, this man is in his 80s and he's looking great. So Ernie Hudson. And to be honest, like I said, he looked better older than he did when he was younger. But weight loss is going to be comprehensive. It's going to be comprehensive. I try to stay away from carbs. They're not bad, but I really stick to lean protein, vegetables, lean protein, vegetables, and water, or some type of hydration that's not having a lot of calories. So I won't do no macchiato from Starbucks because it has a lot of sugar in it. So yeah, he does look great. Ernie Hudson really looks great. Pastor, what if when you meet Ernie, he said he wanted some sugar? What you mean? That man has a whole wife. Baby, look. I don't know what you mean by sugar, but Ernie Hudson doesn't do a whole lot of sugar. Now, far as anything on the spectrum, I'm not interested. See, y'all, let me tell you something. I'm not interested in that. I am more interested that that man has taken care of himself. And I'm more interested in his routine. And it's not sexual. It's not, anything like that. And let me say this. I'm satisfied with what I have. I am very satisfied with what I have. And a lot of people will never be satisfied because they're always looking for the next best thing, not realizing what they had was their best thing. And when you find somebody that you click with, you stick with it. Not out of bad habits. Like I said, it's to be healthy. You don't stick with stuff that's going to take you down, but you stick with it. Because in this world, baby, it's hard to get that. It's hard to get that. So, yeah. What's up, E-Money? I know you teasing, but like I said, I'm good. I am good. I am good. I know. And again, Ernie is my inspiration. That's all. I mean, that man is 80. That man is working out. He's sharp. And it's the quality of life. Y'all, I know people in their 70s and they on walkers and like I said, you can't determine, because there can be something that is unpreventable that can happen to you. But things that you can prevent, that's a whole nother story. What's up, Hershey? What's going on? But yeah, Ernie Hudson is my inspiration. The man is 80. He is working out, and he doesn't work out that much. He only works out 3 days out of the week. And it's about diet, attitude, and yeah. And my goal now is not cardio. Cardio is good. I walked the dog last night, and I walked for an hour. That's my cardio. So I'm not going to be at the gym on a treadmill. I'm going to now be working on weight and resistance and stretching and balance. And I think when you get older, you got to work on the balance and definitely do the stretching. And so that's my focus now. Because you always hear older people falling and all of that stuff. And so a lot of this is going to be stretching and all of that, because I did the cardio to get to my weight. So currently, you all, and this is my ideal weight, I'm at 175. I wanted to be at 180, but 175 was good. So I'm at 175. And so now my mindset is toning, balance, stretching, being limber, because your mobility, dexterity is important, and then balance. So I do a lot of on one foot balancing. I'll get the weights, balance. So yeah, I don't do treadmills anymore. I mean, and that's not bad, because the burning the carb, I mean, doing cardio is really good. But I do my walks, and I do a brisk walk when I walk the dog, and sometimes we'll jog a little bit and then go back to walking. So that's the cardio that I need. My thing now is weight resistance, balance, stretching, that type of thing. And of course, hydration. Of course, hydration. Okay, y'all, I'm almost at the job. See, so I'm getting here quick. So usually it will be, but the traffic is already bad. Lord Jesus, it's already getting bad. I do a little jogging, but I'm gonna tell you what, I don't jog on hard surfaces. So, well, let me take that back. When I do my jog walk, but I do my best not to jog on hard surfaces. So, yeah. Okay, coffee beans. Yeah, hard surface is not good for your feet. It's not good for your legs. Yeah. So I try not. I will go into a pool and I will do my running there because again you have the resistance, which is the water, and so then it keeps you cool. So I usually do that. So y'all, it's been an hour and I'm here. So yeah, San Antonio is no joke. So, but I'm glad that I skipped the traffic because in a couple of minutes it's gonna be bumper to bumper. My sister, even back home, has been complaining that that traffic has gotten bad. You know, so they have Blue Origin and SpaceX, and I believe when that rocket detonated and didn't, do as planned, they're working now to get it right. And so she said that the traffic at the Space Center has been really bad. So yeah, but I'm here. So I'm glad that I'm here. So glad I'm here. So it took me an hour to get here. So glad I'm here. So glad I'm here. All right. Boonky, I I haven't really watched her, but if what you're saying is true, I'm afraid that she could be charged with trespassing, especially if she's been told not to come. Because you all, why is she coming? Is she going there for the Lord or is she going there for that man or to cause trouble? I don't get it. And my thing is, I don't want to be in a place of worship where I'm not welcome. It's going to always be strife. What are you trying to prove? I don't get it. And this is why I look at people, I'm like, baby, live your life in peace and not strife. If those folk don't want you there, just don't go. But I don't know. And I just hope that, she alters her plans and do something different because I don't want to find sis in jail because sis gonna get a trespassing charge and then she gonna get a stalking charge. And if these people are wise and if they're smart, they collecting these videos. So I hope that's not her case, and I hope she doesn't do that. I don't want the lady in jail. I really do think that there is some mental health issues going on. So hopefully she gets that together because I think that that's what's happening. I think that, mentally she's not there. Those are my thoughts. You know what, though, y'all? Do I want something? No, 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 no. I better not order any food because you know what, they ordering food today. So I was gonna go get something to eat, but I'm like, no, 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 they're ordering food today. So I'm gonna hold right on. Save this little coin. Hold on, y'all. I'm parking. Hold on. Hold on. And I'm gonna come on camera, y'all. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay, y'all. Woo. Let me see. Sister Catherine said she got to get something to wear. Child. I said, is she crazy attending that church? And baby, you can't tell her nothing. My thing is this. Go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. And my thing, you got to ask the real question. Why are you really, really going there? Why are you really going to go there? So, yeah. Hershey said, Rodney said he's going to the police so they can help him with his Twitter. Mm. Okay. 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 Interesting. Mima, we'll see. Interesting. I look. Uh, Interesting. That's all I can say is interesting. Um, the thing is, you all, they know who she is, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the church is for the sick, but mental hospitals are for those folk who mentally ill. And my thing is listening to her. What's up, the truth? Listening to her, there's something wrong. She's acting like she knows these people personally, like she goes out to dinner with them and she talks to them on the phone, and that's the illusion that she gives. But when asked the question, she only came in passing of that pastor, really not talk to that man. So something is not right. And yeah, so I don't think that's a good idea. I think that she should find another place to worship. But people are grown, you can't stop them. But to every action, there's a reaction. That's all. Yeah, it's trespassing. It's trespassing. And then the mindset is like those people owe her and all of that stuff. And I'm like, not necessarily. Bunky, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that Bunky. Cause see, I didn't hear all of that. I don't know nothing about that Bunky. I don't know nothing about that. My God, today. I don't know nothing about the bathing. I don't know anything about that. I just hope that she gets her footing. I hope she gets the help she needs. I don't want her to go to jail because I really don't I don't wish bad things to happen to her. I don't wish bad things to happen to her. And I think if she goes to that jail, I mean that church, that she's going to go to jail. She's skirting with jail time. And if not jail, she's going to be in somebody's state hospital and not be able to leave. That's what I think is getting ready to happen. And the thing that really, the thing that really bothers me is I don't think her coming on YouTube saying these things, I don't think they're helping her. I think it's building a case against her. And when she was over here, she was like, you don't believe me? It's not me believing you're not. It's almost like I thought you were cool with me and I like you, but I'm not going to ride and die with you. And I think you need some help. Yeah. And I'm not saying that Catherine isn't intelligent. She speaks well, but something has clicked in her mind that this man and her had a relationship, and she helped him build his church, and it's just something there. And then when I was accused of working with the church, I was like, something ain't right. And my thing is, I don't think her coming on talking about these people will help her. And in a court of law, from a lot of stuff that she said, yeah. I mean, but she's saying that her ex assaulted her during her pregnancy, and now I heard out of her mouth that made her do some sex work, from what I heard. And I think that there's a lot of trauma. And I'm going to continue to say this. When you do not deal with your childhood trauma, it morphs into your adult life. And I think a lot of this childhood trauma is morphing and really coming to play in her adult life. Even when she was talking about her sister and how her mom liked her sister more. And oh, it was deep. And I'm like, so a lot of things have been said, and I'm like, okay, we should deal with this. YouTube is not the place to do it. It would be better if she went to a mental health professional to work through her feelings and her emotions, but I don't think YouTube is the place to do that, to be honest. Yeah, Bella, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I don't think that her situation is a funny situation. I'm listening to the stories and I'm like, oof. And sometimes you got to use humor to soften the blow, but she's everywhere, you all. I mean, she Hansel and Gretel, from Hansel and Gretel, from the Three Pigs, from the Three Pigs to Little Red Riding Hood, from Little Red Riding Hood to the Prince and the Princess and the Frog, from the Princess and the Frog to the Princess and the Pea. Girl, then it's Yellowstone, then it's Dynasty, then it's Dallas. Girl, we just jump all over the place. It may be Scorp. I don't know. I can't diagnose, but and there's a lack of focus, and everything is so circular. We can never get to the real meat of the issue. We got to go around in circles. And we never hit the target. And then it comes off as y'all don't understand what I'm saying. You know, I'm telling y'all clearly, but y'all don't understand. And my thing is make us understand, but it seems like no one is understanding. It's like no one is understanding. So, yeah. Mm. Yeah, yeah, Scorpion. Yeah. So I don't, yeah. And like I said, it's a lot. And I hear her talking about that pastor's wife and this pastor, and then she gets mad at the pastor because of his wife. And then she got mad at the alleged mistress. And the mistress was going to Nantucket or something, or Cape Cod or something. And oh, it's just crazy. Oh, very defensive and very nasty. And then she was like, you don't want me to do this, and you pressing my hand. And I'm like, oof. Ooh, excuse me, some playing out in her mind. Do you think the pastor and the wife will continue to ignore? You know what? The pastor and his wife probably has enough connections to get a cease and desist and then put her away. It just doesn't make any sense, you all. But hey, it is what it is. You can't tell people anything. So, yeah. But I hope she does not go to that church. Go to somebody else's church. Seek God. Stop looking for the approval of men. If the man don't want to reconcile, then shake the dust off your shoes and move on. What are you trying to go? What are you trying to obtain? Yeah. Yeah, Hershey, yeah. Yeah, I've heard it all. Lesbiterian, crackhead. Now she's saying that she is indifferent towards the mother-in-law. The truth is alive. I agree with that. I agree with that. What's up, Phoebe? I agree with that. I agree with that statement. Yeah. Mm, mm, whatever. Okay. I hear what y'all saying. Y'all look, all I'm gonna do is say pray for her, pray that she do the right thing, pray that God just guide her mind. Because there's something in the mind. Something in the mind. What you mean I did a KRN with my camera? I didn't do a KRN, you all. I'm sitting here. I'm just, yeah. I didn't do a KRN. I'm still here. I mean, No harm, no foul. Who else got a little coffee left? CB said, Jay, I don't think she has the mental capacity to decipher what's right, wrong, just based on how she behaves online. She really believes her own stories. Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't chuckle. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Phoebe, I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. That I agree with. And again, I don't dislike Catherine. I just think that she needs some help. And I think that YouTube, it can be dangerous because people do things and they use this media and it's not always in the best light, in the best way. Not the Christian Mingle child. Yeah. Anyway, what else is happening, y'all? I don't know. But let me say this. I wouldn't be trying to act with people's real information and slandering people. No, mm-mm. 'Cause that's when the act becomes reality. That's when the act becomes reality. So yeah. So is Lemon all right, y'all? I haven't heard. So is he taking a break? I don't think it's an act at all. Okay. Hershey, what's been going on with you, girl? I know you've been in the streets. I want to see Big Man TV. They say Big Man done dropped that weight, baby. They say Big Man done dropped that weight. Now, hold on. I see that Chocolate Bay just did a video concerning the Rodney situation. I might have to go watch that. He rarely comes on, so I might watch that. He was live last night. Oh, okay then. All right. So he back. Okay. Okay. I don't even want to hear that. Look, Miss Cammy, people gonna learn. People are gonna learn. People are gonna learn. You mean after all of that foolishness, he let Malik back on his panel? So I'm of the belief that Lemon don't really want a panel. That Lemon don't really want a channel. Wow. That's crazy. You know what? Y'all pray for her. Pray for her. I don't know what's going on with her, but I did say what I said and just pray for her. I don't know what's really going on with her, but I said what I said and I'm good. Maybe people trying to get back in the sector. I don't know. Pastor, did you hear that they were going to let Lovely Love back in the competition if she apologized to Miss Barbara, but Lovely went on J Dunn panel and Dragness and her, oh Jesus. Whatever. Okay. All right. I mean, whatever. If you all believe, let me say something. I have nothing to prove. And I wish those people all the best. That's all I can say to Joyce and whoever. Yeah. I, yeah. I don't, yeah, I can't. Yeah, it is what it is. Coffee beans, let me tell you something. It is what it is. I don't understand why people fight to be in spaces people don't want you. I don't understand. Malik gave me small school bus vibes. Yeah, y'all. I mean, but look, I am not mad at these folk. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't even watch him. So I didn't know last time I thought he was supposed to be gone or something like that. Yeah. So yeah. Malik makes me think he's on the spectrum. I just thought, but let me say this. Why would Lemon bring somebody back up on his channel who has unapologetically threatened somebody and showed a weapon that could get you taken off of YouTube? That should be a good indication right there that he doesn't care about your channel. Okay, Scorpion Vibe. Shy interview with your ex. That's what they tell me. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy, you all. Well, my thing is this. Why be upset with people who can't hurt you? Why be upset with people who you don't know? I mean, I don't get it. I think it's foolishness at its best, but this is why I don't get into those spaces anymore because all of that stuff is high school foolishness to me. I mean, some people like it, and if they like it, then let them like it. I'm beyond that mess now. I'm beyond it. It's silly to me. I don't know Malik. I don't know Brooke. All I know is what they show me on YouTube, and that's all I can go off of. And to be honest, I don't have a problem with any of them. But if you do something like that on my platform, then I'm going to bar you from being able to come on. Because what you're telling me is that you want to take my platform. Okay, lemon barely had. Hold on for a minute. Well, look, you all. Um, People are going to do what they want to do, and that's all I can say. People are going to do what they want to do, and you can't stop people. And the only platform that I can really be concerned about is mine. Yeah. I forgive, but I don't forget. And forgiveness doesn't mean access. And I limit access now. And it's not because I think I'm better than anybody. They force working people to take. I'm reading y'all comments. Yeah, I don't even know when he comes on, and again, I'm not willing to look at grown folk fight and do all of this foolishness. I'm not there. I'm not with it. So yeah. I must have Truth Enterprise block because y'all talking about Truth Enterprises in here. I don't see it, so I must have a block. I must have a block. Y'all say that Truth Enterprises in here? Really? Okay, that's a blast from the past. That is definitely a bad blast from the past. Okay, all right, okay, okay. I was like, really? Oh Lord. Double trouble. Uh-oh. Double trouble. Y'all give me a minute. I'm looking at something. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Well, you can forgive. Forgiveness is not a bad thing, but it doesn't mean that you forget. And I think that's what people don't understand. You can forgive, but you don't have to forget. I will forgive you, but I'm not forgetting anything. And then I move a little differently how I deal with you. And I think that's the biggest thing. But I'm not going to keep on letting people on my platform and they continue to do the same thing over and over again. And if you tell people to stop and they continue to do it, then it's not a respect there. And you got to let folk go because they do not respect you or your platform. And that's all I'm going to say with that. And I just think that people need to be aware of those things. Coffee Bean said, these people are desperate and lonely, Pastor. You know, I truly believe that that is the case for some people. Um, with some of these actions, I do believe that some people really, really, really are lonely or they never had leadership or leadership role of any kind. And I think that's a big problem as well. No leadership role of any kind. And and this YouTube fame has really gone to their heads, and they can't. Yeah, and they really think that they have all of this power, but they have it on YouTube, but then they don't have it anywhere else. And what happens a lot of times too is that yeah, it's a lot of things that happen, y'all. I feel, but I think people get off on hurting others because it gives them power and some sense of power. And they live for that. And they hurt people because they crave power. Hold on for a minute, y'all. That don't make no sense. Well, I celebrate my birthday online, but that's after everything is done. Girl, it ain't no. Let me say this. As I tell people, if you do really have friends on YouTube, then everybody don't need to know about it. And that's the honest God truth. Hmm. I'm looking at some things, y'all. Give me a minute. Okay, true. That could be something. You could be right on that. You could be right on that. You all forgive me. I'm actually looking at something really quickly, so forgive me. Well, y'all, everybody gonna be different. So I'm reading y'all comments and I'm trying to get something together here. Let me see what this says. Okay, that works. Okay. Double trouble. Hmm. So you don't go by lemons no more? Okay. Okay, y'all. I'm reading y'all comments too, and I'm getting some stuff done. I apologize for this. I'm gonna be able to give you all my full attention in a couple of minutes. Mm-mm-mm. I'm almost done, y'all. Give me a minute. I have to get something out. Okay, let me see here. You all said not every year is a bit. See, that's just weird to me because these people are strangers and they're your friends one day. It's no friends on YouTube. I'm just, and if you do have friends on YouTube, you shouldn't let everybody know. I don't know. Uber and Lyft drivers have their own office and personal desk. I'm Uber. I'm Lyft. Hmm. Um, I don't think they're friends on YouTube. I think the stuff that you see, you all should see this, and you should see how fragile these so-called friendships are. I believe there may be some YouTube ships. If there's really a friendship, then you put your friendship at risk every day when you come up here, because you know how people are. You know what these people try to do. But I mean, people have argued against me and they can, but we see what happens. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And this is why I'm not bothered by people's uh, indecisiveness, them being fickle. They love you 1 minute and 2 minutes later, you the worst person in the world because that's how it is. And money changes things. I mean, you see a lot. And I mean, I'm not upset. It's just who people are. But hopefully you all are seeing it. That's the thing. Hopefully you all are seeing it. Because I know, but hopefully you all see it. Hopefully you all see this foolery because it's foolery. And my whole goal is y'all need to see it. It's not, I see what's going on. I know what these people do. But now I'm just being quiet and letting y'all see it. I don't argue with these people anymore. I'm not fighting with them. I say what I say and I move right the heck along. I don't know these folks, you know. Hmm. These folk like you one day and hate you the next, and when mad day comes, you're exposed in the worst way. Liars back, baby. That right there, Kim. That right there. This is why I just don't argue with it anymore. When you know the truth, you don't have to sit there and fight with a lie. I mean, why? I just don't, I just don't. And I ask you all, do y'all believe it? Do you believe it? That's all I can say. And it's up to you to believe what you want. Hmm. But it's not important to you until it happens to you. And what people don't understand, the same people who you participate with this stuff in, they will be the same people who will turn on you and do you worse than the person that it intended to. That's what the thing is, you all. This is why I say I'm not doing a whole lot of this foolishness. And even with the Rodney situation, all I'm going to say is I am not exonerating Rodney, and I am not I'm not exonerating him, nor am I executing him. I'm not giving him a free pass at all. Because but my thing is I'm just observing and I'm seeing what happens. I'm just observing. People hate when Jay say no friends on YouTube. It's no lies if you have a friendship. That you know what? Let me tell you something. If I have a friend on YouTube, y'all ain't gonna know about it. Y'all ain't gonna know about it. Y'all not gonna know about it. But I keep YouTube business. I keep it business. I keep this as a show, and I cannot stress this. Well, that's what I've been saying. But all I'm going to say is this is a show. I do my entertainment. I log off. I move on. This is not real life. This is not real life. It's a real show. What's up, Trademark? It's a real show, but this ain't my real life. I don't live with Lemon. I'm not there when Lemon wake up. I don't know what Brooke and Malik eat in the morning. We don't go eat breakfast together. I don't know these people. I know my life. But again, I don't share my moments with anybody. I don't sit there and let me say this, even with Vivian, me and Vivian don't sit there and talk about my fears and my anxieties and stuff. No, 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 because I got real friends and real family. And I don't need to do that on YouTube. That's crazy work. So when people got all of this tea and all that stuff, I'm like, okay. I mean, because I don't engage with people like that. Honest Row and I went out and we had a really good time and we talked about things, but nothing that I could say, oh, I got Honest Row on this, or anything that Honest Row can say, oh, I got Jay on this. Because again, I don't set people up, but I don't go to be set up. I met with April and Wolverine, and we had a great time. And I'm not asking April all about her personal life and all that. We don't do that. And I keep telling you all, y'all don't listen, but I'm going to say it because you preach the word in season, out of season. When people want to know your personal information, when people want to dig in your stuff, that's a red flag. That is a red flag. I don't care who it is from. And I keep on telling you all that. If I start asking you personal questions about XYZ, XYZ, and it's a red flag, and vice versa. And the thing is, you don't have to answer. And I don't think people get that. People come in your life for two reasons: to help you or to hurt you. And all of that stuff that was going on with Lemon and Triple Red, that was too much in the beginning anyhow. And this is why I kind of believe Triple Red, because Brianna said the same thing. And I don't know why these people think that these folk are going to always do them right. Because in the back of people's minds, they may not really like you. And they may have a show of admiration, but it's not there. And action speaks louder than words. If people always got you in mess and setting you up for mess, and you just that's not what you should be doing. Mhm. Don't give everybody your attention. Don't give everybody your energy. Stop doing that. Don't give everybody your energy and stuff. It's just not necessary. I'm reading y'all comments. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Ooh, I felt that. I felt it in my spirit. Oh, Jesus. But all I'm going to say is these content creators are going to learn the hard way, and one day they will hear. But I can only be that mouthpiece, and that's all you can do. And you got to let people do what they got to do. Mm. This is what you got to say. If I could, I protect you from the sadness in your eyes. Give you courage in a world of compromise. Yes, I would. If I could, if I could, I would teach you things I've never learned. I'll help you cross the bridges that I burn. Yes, I would. If I could, I would shield you. I would shield your innocence from time. But the part of life I gave you isn't mine. I watched you grow so I could let you go. If I could, I would help you make it through the hungry years. But I know that I could never cry your tears. But I would, if I could. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. If I could, but I can't. If I could, I would try to shield your innocence from time. But the part of life I gave you isn't mine. I watched you grow so I could let you go. If I could. Baby, I feel that in my spirit. Mm. What's up? What's his name? Stephen. What's up, Stephen? What's up, Stephen? I think Rodney got some lessons to learn. I mean, did he do it? I don't know. Did he not do it? I don't know. He said he didn't. I'm not here to execute him and I'm not here to exonerate him. But baby, time will tell, the law will tell, all of that stuff will tell. That's all I can say. But again, people jump on bandwagons, people do these things, and it's not important to you until it happens to you. And a lot of stuff may happen to people, and then people always want mercy and grace. But did you give it? Did you give it? And that's all I got to say. I ain't here to execute, and I'm not here to exonerate. And that's all I can say about that. I just think that it's unfortunate, but you'll find out who your friends are, and you'll find out who people, yeah, because everybody ain't gonna be with you. Well, Prince of Sheba, like I said, I'm not here to execute and I'm not here to exonerate. To be honest, it ain't me. And my thing is the lesson learned is make sure you right and you in right standings. That's all I'm gonna say. Hmm. That's all I'm gonna say. Mm. Well, you try to help people the best you can, but people gotta make their mind up. See, the people who you thinking is your enemy ain't your enemy. But I'm gonna leave it right there. Well, that's good for you, Prince of Sheba. But you straight. But you once was gay. Okay. But I'm glad that God delivered you. Maybe he'll deliver Rodney too. Amen. Shando, I felt that in my spirit. The age in Texas is 17. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but again, it is what it is. So I don't even care. All I can say is call the cops, tell them, file a police report. That's all I can say to these people. Hmm. I'll ride with you, but I ain't riding and dine with you. I'll ride and live with you. But baby, I ain't riding and dine with nobody. Well, I'm just saying, I mean, you either like people, you don't like people. I'm to the point now where I'm really the Bible says examine yourself. Let me say this. I'm not talking about Prince of Sheba. I'm not talking about the Prince of Egypt. I'm not talking about the Prince of Jerusalem. I'm talking about me right now. Examine yourself. Why do you feel the way you feel? See, this is why I can give people props. And even though you may not treat me the best, I can still give you the props because the truth is the truth. If you funny, you funny. If you got talent, you got talent. But my thing is, why do we do what we do? Do we really not like the people? And why do we dislike the people? I don't dislike anybody. I just step back. And I'm just learning to step back. Like I was telling somebody, I don't dislike Lemon. Just because I don't like his platform, that don't mean I don't dislike him. I just don't dislike the platform. And this is why I say, should the man platform be taken down? Should he stop getting his money? But again, see, when you are real with yourself, you can say that kind of stuff. Just because I don't like the platform, that don't mean I don't dislike the person. And even if I dislike the platform, then that's no reason why it should be up. Because once you do what you do to others, you do yourself. Where is the line of what should we have on YouTube? I mean, I'm just saying. That's just me. Well, Princess Sheba, all I can say is I'm talking about me. And again, you got to ask yourself, what issue do you really have with him? I say this: if you think that the man is guilty, then call the cops and file a police report. But they said the age of consent is 17. Now, I don't think that that's wise. But is it against the law? If that's what the consent is, let me check. Let me check. Let me check. So this is what it says. Mm. I'm gonna read this. Let me read this. In Texas, the general age of consent is 17. This means that a person who is 17 years old or older can generally consent to sexual activity under Texas law. There are important qualifications. Anyone under 17 is generally considered incapable of legally consenting to sexual activities with an adult. Texas have a Romeo and Juliet close in age exception that can provide an affirmative defense in certain situations involving teenagers who are close in age, provided specific legal conditions are met. This is intended to avoid criminalizing consensual relationship between similarly aged teens. Separate laws apply to people in position of authority or trust, such as a teacher, coach, or certain caregivers. Even if a student is 17 or older, sexual relationship with an educator can still be a criminal offense. So, according to this is the state law library from Texas. All state library. This is my source from the state law library in Texas. The consenting age is 17. So where was the law broken? Now, I may not like the age gap, but did it break the law? And is anybody willing to call the authorities on Rodney and file a case? Because if Rodney is truly in Texas, I don't know that, but y'all say he is, then where is the law broken? Now, I'm not saying ethically that I like this, but legally you don't have a case. Now, if you try him in the court of church or the court of public opinion, okay. But in the court of law, in the state of Texas, 17 years old is the age of consent. So are you going to call the cops on him? I'm just saying. Because you can say he did this and this, but in the state of Texas, now we're not talking about the state of Pennsylvania. We're not talking about the state of Florida or Alabama or Mississippi. We're talking about the state of Texas. It's 17 years old. So do you have a case? And I'm not exonerating him or I am not executing him. I'm just stating the law. I'm just stating the law. Okay, it may sound horrible, Prince of Sheba, but how many of those church people did horrible things, older men dating these younger girls in church? I'm just saying. And they have a position of authority. I'm just saying. Because that's horrible too. And yeah, but the thing is, yeah, is he gonna go to jail? He made a tweet. Y'all didn't like the tweet, but the consenting age in Texas is 17. Did he not mention the person was 17? Now, I don't know if he did it or not, but let's hypothetically say he did do it. Well, if the person consented, then I guess that is legally not against the law. It's not against the law because the person was 17. And is Rodney a school teacher? Is he a coach? Is he a band director? I'm just asking. And I'm not I'm not pushing these things. I'm just telling you the state of Texas. And I'm not originally from Texas. I'm from Florida. I'm from Florida. hmm So this is Texas law. Well, I know what you're saying, but in the state of Texas, it's the legal age of consent. I know what you all are saying, that people have a mindset, but in Texas is the legal age of consent. And if you're in Texas and if you feel like this is not right, then you need to vote. You need to vote so the law can be 18. But in Texas, it's 17. And I understand your anger, but the law says 17. And so Rodney broke no laws if this really happened. So if he admitted to it, and let's hypothetically say he did it, he didn't break any laws. Now, y'all might be upset. I'm not here to exonerate him or execute him. I'm only just quoting y'all what the law says. And this is from the Law Library of Texas. And I think that's pretty credible as a source. I'm just saying now, I mean, I understand how your emotions are setting in, but I'm not dealing with emotions right now. I'm dealing with law, and the law says that the legal age is 17. That's the law. Now, had he said 16, ooh, he might have been able to go to jail. But since the age of consent is 17, what do you do with that? Because that's the law of Texas. What do you do? Either vote or move out the state. The choice is yours. I don't care what these people say. I'm just quoting the law. And again, I don't execute him or exonerate him. I just bring the law. And the law is truth. And what your emotions is don't matter because it's the law. That's what counts, the law. Opinions are okay, but opinions aren't law. And I don't exonerate him or execute him. I just quoted the law. That's all. Well, this is the thing, Stephen. So let's say he admitted to it. Let's say he did it. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to change the law of Texas? See, this is the thing. You can get mad at me, but you can't get mad at the truth. And the truth of the matter is, age of consent in Texas is 17. So whether he admitted and did it or admitted and did not do it, it's neither here or there. The law says 17. So if he admitted it and the person consented, then where's your case? Because the case is, if 17 is the age of consent, you have no case. So whether he lied or not, is it a good look? No. Is it terrible looking? Yes, I guess it is. But the law says 17. And that's from the Law Library of Texas. So how you feel means shit to me. Is what the law said. And I don't hate you personally, Stefan. I'm just saying the law said 17. So even if he lied or not, what is your point? Because you have no case. Because that's the state of Texas and that's the law in Texas. Not the opinion of Texas, but the law of Texas. So I don't see where you're saying, I don't see the bullshit in the law. The law is the law. Well, that's your book, but your book is not the book of the law in Texas. And so, yeah. But you have every right to your feelings. And I am not trying to diminish that or take your emotions or feelings away. But when it comes to the law, uh, yeah, that's all. All I'm just doing is stating the facts, not emotion, not opinion, but the facts. I'm not normalizing anything. I'm just stating the facts. Did I not say I'm not here to exonerate or execute, but I'm here to read the facts, and I just read them. Now, if you got a problem, then you need to go to the state of Texas and say this is dark. And so that's why voting is so important. Did you vote that election when they did that? Or did you sit out? I'm just saying, this is the state of Texas. Okay, well, he may be weirdo, but he didn't break the law. And weird is not a reason to put somebody in jail. So I give you that, Stephen. He may be a weirdo, but according to the state of Texas, he didn't break the law. He may be too old to talk to a teenager, but in the state of Texas, 17 is the age of consent. I'm not exonerating him or executing him, just saying that the age of consent is 17. Whether you're gay, straight, it doesn't matter. Okay, you have every right to cancel him, but he's not going to jail because he didn't break any laws. That's what I'm saying. So you can cancel him. And I'm not saying you can't do that, Stefan, but he didn't break any law. Yeah, I did have a cold this past week, but he didn't break any laws. I don't know, y'all. I don't get moved by y'all emotions and getting upset with me. The man didn't break any law. If the state of Texas says this is the age of consent, that's the state of Texas. Now, do I think that that's young and stuff? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do anything like that, but I'm not Rodney. And again, he said he didn't do it. Y'all said he did. He said he admitted it. Okay, so even if he admitted it, he didn't break any laws. Now, it may be creepy, it may be unnerving, and you have a right to feel that way. And I'm not trying to take away your feelings, but he didn't break the law. So he's not going to jail. You may not like him anymore, but according to the state of Texas, he didn't break any law. And that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to exonerate him or execute him. The law did that, not me, but the law. The law, what's on the books in Texas. Now, if they change it to 16 next year, okay. But again, he's not under that because this happened when he was, when the law was, when people were 17. Okay. I just, because y'all can be mad at me. What you really mad at is the law. And I'm not trying to diminish or take away your feelings of how you feel about that. Because like I just said, I think that's very young. But the law says that the age of consent is 17. That's all. Mm. Yeah, states have different laws. But this is the thing, Truth, even if he did, it's not against the law. Now, I'm not saying he did or didn't because I wasn't there and I really don't know. And Rodney could be telling the truth or Rodney could be lying. I mean, who knows? He could be telling the truth or lying. I'm not here to execute him or exonerate him, but the law says 17. He said 17. So if he's lying, he's not going to jail. If he's telling the truth, he's not going to jail because the law says 17. Now, whether you like what I just said, that's up to you. I am not trying to diminish your feelings or your emotions. I'm just telling you that the consent law says 17. 17 in Texas. That's all. Scott, I don't know that. But obviously, Texas thought 17 was the age. That's it. That's it. Baby, I'm not moved. And let me say this, I'm not here to exonerate or execute Rodney, but the truth will make you free. And even if you don't like the truth, it's the truth. I didn't make this up. If that would have been 16, then there would have been a case. But it said 17, and this is coming from the Law Library of Texas. So what do you want me to do with that? I didn't, can I say this? I didn't say what he did was right. Ethically, it may not be, but legally, it is. You don't go to jail unless the ethics breaks the law. Now, ethically, it may not be good for you, but it's not legally binding. And that's all I'm saying to you all. And I'm saying I'm not diminishing your feelings. You can feel that way. You can cancel him. You can do what you want to do, but he's not going to jail because the age of consent is 17. What I'm saying making sense? I'm not trying to diminish or take away how you feel, but your feelings ain't the law. That's all I'm saying. Somebody help me out. Your feelings ain't the law. That's all. Your feelings ain't the law. That's all I'm saying. Oh, I'm not sick. I'm very well. And see, the thing is, you can't control me. I don't think group think. I'm an independent thinker. And again, you can feel how you want to feel. I just said that I think that it's not what I would do, but it's not against the law. And you can feel how the hell you want to feel, but feelings are not law. And that's just real. And whether you want to take that or accept it or not, it's not you can cancel Rodney. Rodney may go through a whole lot of stuff, but Rodney will not spend a day in jail because the age of consent is 17. And if they consented, and I said that's if, because that's conditional, because we weren't there. We don't know. He admitted it. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people admit to stuff under duress, and a lot of people do that. Okay, and he may have done it. I don't know. I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't. All I am saying is the age of consent in Texas is 17. Had he said 16, y'all might have had a case, but he said 17. I'm just saying. Look, baby, y'all can sit here and argue this whole thing down. I just read y'all the law from the Law Library of Texas what the age of consent is. Oh, it could be. We'll see. What's up, Demons O? Baby, they really don't like Rodney. That's the bottom line. And the bottom line is, it is what it is. I'm not here to exonerate or execute him. I just read the law. Look, it could be off. It could be off. But it's not illegal. So all I'm going to say is, if you don't like what happened, just say, I don't like it. And I am not going over to Rodney's channel anymore because this is weird to me. And so I'm done with it. And you have that right. Did y'all not hear what I'm saying? You have that right to feel that way. You do. And I wouldn't judge you. But what you can't do is put the man in jail because the state of Texas said 17 is the age of consent. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't drop your membership and stuff, and I'm not encouraging you to do it. I'm not discouraging you to do it. I'm telling you, do what the hell you want to do because it's your life. But at the end of the day, he's not going to jail. because if the age of 17 is a consenting age, then it is what it is. And if anybody is sick, I guess it's the law of Texas. But I don't have nothing to do with that because I didn't vote on that. I'm just saying, because I probably didn't live in Texas at the time. Okay, well, don't like his actions and then vote with it. See, what I'm trying to tell y'all is I'm not telling you all not to go or stay. I'm telling you do what the hell you want to, but I just brought up the law and I'm just bringing up facts. I am not trying to persuade you one way or the other. That decision is yours to make. That's all. That's all. Whether he did it or not, the consenting age is 17 in the state of Texas. And I just read that, and that came from the law library. Oh, Miss, oh, and you are right. See, I'm not arguing that fact because that's a fact. It may be off. But then I'm telling y'all the fact in Texas is that even if it did happen, if the person was 17 and consented, it doesn't matter because the law said that it's not against the law. But I'm not disputing what you all feel. It's just not the law, not illegal. That's all I'm saying. Okay, well, do what you got to do. I'm not normalizing anything. What I'm not going to do is sit here and indict somebody without legal cause. That's what I'm not going to do. And again, if you listen to me, because I know how people are, if you listen to me, I don't execute and I don't exonerate. I'm not telling you your feelings are not valid. I just say do according to what you think you need to do. It is at your discretion. That's all I'm saying. You call me what you want, but that's all I'm saying. And I just said that I wouldn't personally do that, but this is me. And that's my personal conviction. And my personal conviction is not your personal conviction. And I'm going to leave it at that. And mothers have every right to. And that's why mothers need to make sure they talk to their sons and their daughters, not only their sons, but their daughters, and make sure. So hopefully this is a lesson that we talk to our children and we let our children know that there may be some people with predatory behaviors out there. But if that's the case, and if you're 17, yeah, that's the age of consent. And maybe you need to change the laws. Maybe you should go into politics or legislation and say, hey, these laws need to be changed. And the only reason half of these laws were changed is because these older men dating these younger women. I'm just saying. Well, in the state of Texas, that's what they said. So, yeah. Teach your kids, me mom. Me mom, you said a word right there. Teach your kids. Kimmy, you may not agree, but it's the law. That's it. I ain't here to argue. It's the law. I ain't here to say I'm against. I'm like I said, I'm not here to execute or exonerate or to make you help make a decision. Baby, the decision is yours. What you want to do is your business. How tablet say that's your business. Okay, Scott. Well, go ahead and set that up. and go ahead and get him arrested. Go ahead and do that. Do what you got to do. Yeah, you got a lot of proof because the burden of proof is on you, not on him. You the one who bringing it. So go ahead and do it. My. I'm reading y'all comments and I'm not moved. But I mean, the law is the law. You have these Supreme Court justices in here. Oh, I know how these people are. I know how they are. Maybe JB long-winded. Maybe. Thank you, JB long-winded. I'm gonna keep that right up there because look, JB right there. And Pastor said he doesn't agree with the idea of consenting with someone that young. He's clearly reading the law. Right there. All hymn books and Bibles have been closed. Thank you, JB. There's a logical thinker in the house. Nobody ain't saying that way. You know, ethically, I wouldn't. No, absolutely not. But the law states, and you can have an opinion all you want, but the law states. That's all. That's it. I don't know them. Let me say this. I don't know how they are because I've never really been in their presence. And that's why I can't say yay or nay. I don't really know. There are no friends on YouTube, and I don't have no friends on YouTube. So I can't really tell you how Rodney is, nor can you, because you really haven't been around Rodney to know Rodney. Well, I'm just saying, because y'all act like y'all acting like Catherine now. So y'all act like y'all done talked on the phone and went out to dinner and all I know is that the consenting age in Texas is 17. Again, what JB Longwinded said is true. And Pastor said he doesn't agree with the ideal of consenting with someone that young. He was clearly reading the law. That's it. That's it, and that's all. Okay, well, talk to your lawmakers. Cream, let me say this, and you may be right. You may be right. But see, I'm not moved by emotions and stuff. It's the law. And just because somebody may do something to me, it is what it is. It's just the law. And I'm not doing this because I like Rodney or so on and so forth. I'm looking at things a little different. And I'm observing. And at the end of the day, look, the law is the law. And you can have your opinion, but I got a certified fact. What I just read is not an opinion. What I read is law from a credible source. That's it. Okay, Diamond Dory, did you just read what the man said? I'm not saying that it's right. I said I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's right. But my opinion doesn't supersede the law. It don't supersede the law. You a lawyer, you know that, Diamond Dory. You a lawyer. You a lawyer, you know that, right? You know that, right? You know that, right? From a reliable source. And Dory, as a good lawyer, not just a lawyer, but as a good lawyer, Dory, you know that. You know your opinion can't supersede and trump the law. And my personal opinion, if you look at my personal opinion is I would not do that. I don't think that's ethically right for me, but my ethical opinion doesn't supersede the law. That's all I'm saying. So what I'm trying to say is you all can feel the way you feel, and I do not take that away from you. And how you try to move forward, Rodney, is your business. If you move forward without supporting him, if you move forward, however you move forward is your business. But it doesn't supersede the law. That's all I'm saying. Whether God was in school or not, it doesn't matter because again, everybody don't believe in the same God. And at the end of the day, it doesn't supersede the law. The thing is, you got people of many religions, and it's not fair to people who are United States taxpayers because everybody who pays taxes in the United States aren't Christians. So should those people be subjected to that? Is it really a democracy when we have to do one thing? It becomes an autocracy. It becomes a theocracy. And the United States is not a theocracy. We're a democracy, meaning that people of many views come together. So, yeah, if you want to pray, pray at home. If you want to pray, you can pray right there in the school and nobody will know, and God still will move. I'm just saying. And as a Christian and as a former educator, I believe that what you do for one, you got to do for all. So if you have a cross, you got to have a menorah, you got to have all the religions. So you know what? Instead of wasting all that money, just do it in your own way that doesn't offend anybody else. That's all. I know a lot of people don't like that either, but it's the law. It's the law. My God, today. Okay, so what's your point though? See, that's the whole thing. And my thing is, if you think the law is wrong, change the law. If it could be changed. Look, y'all, at the end of the day, I'm going to say it again. I don't think it's wise to have relationships with someone that young. I don't. That's me personally. That's my personal conviction. My personal conviction. However, the law says 17. If you wouldn't allow Rodney near your 18-year-old, then that's your personal conviction. And you have every right based on what was done or what you perceive. I'm not taking that away from you all. See, that's the whole thing. We really are not arguing. All I'm saying is I read what the law said. And under the law, Rodney ain't going to jail. I mean, first of all, you got a steep hill to climb under the law because the burden of proof is not on him, it's on you. So that means you got to find all of those people. You got to get all that correspondence. And if you don't have that, then it's just speculation. Even if he admitted to it, you got to prove that it wasn't consensual. Just go ahead and step away from him if you don't want that and you think he's a bad person. Just step away from him. That's my thought. But he didn't break any law. That simple. That's what I'm saying. Don't like the law, change it. Well, we do a lot of weirdo behavior. I'm just saying, y'all endorse a whole lot of stuff. That's why I just don't really get entangled up, because Rodney weirdo behavior is no different than what y'all say Ken's weirdo behavior is, Kiki's weirdo behavior. Oh God, we done had people call jobs and all of this stuff. That's weirdo behavior, but it's only weirdo behavior if you like the person or don't like the person. Just call out all the weirdo behavior. That's it. Just call out all the weirdo behavior. If you're gonna do it for one, do it for all. And that's all I'm saying. You know, let me say this, you all. I know what the beef sector is about. It's about emotion. It's about talking points. It's about lightning rod issues. It is no different than MAGA and forever Trumpers. It is the same thing, just different people, different leadership, but the same thing. And when you bring out truth to people and reliable sources, then we move the goalpost. And my thing is, I just mentioned again, and this is what people try to do. And you won't bait me in, because this is what people try to do. People try to say, oh, now he's supporting the weirdo, all of that. No. Mm-mm. I didn't say I supported Rodney. I said I don't execute him or exonerate him. I said personally, I think for me, I wouldn't do that, because I don't think that that's something I would do. I think that somebody who's 17 is young. But then you're not going to tell me that you're going to trump the law. Your opinion, your emotions don't trump the law. But if you don't like the law, change the law. But see, I know what people try to do. Oh, he's supporting that weirdo. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You just don't like the fact that I just read a reliable source from the Law Library of Texas stating that the consensual age in Texas is 17. So therefore, unless Rodney is an educator, unless Rodney is a coach or a clergy member or somebody who has influence, and really it's, he's not going to jail, because that's what y'all really wanted. Now you got to look inside yourself to say, well, what's going on with you? Because the law is the law. And all I read is the law. That's it. Didn't say, okay, but I'm just telling you, according to the law, if that age is 17, then you have no case. And did I say that Rodney was telling the truth or not? Yeah, he admitted it. So let's say he did do it. And I gave a hypothetical. If he did do it, the law in Texas is 17. And that's all I said. Oh, you're supporting? No, I didn't. Thank you, JB Long-Winded, for summing it up so eloquently. I appreciate you. Hmm. Now, let me say this about the lemon and the young boys in his home. Let's go there. Those young boys weren't 17. Those were young men. They were in their 20s. Were they young? Hell yeah, they were young. And when we mentioned that, but the difference between Lemon and Rodney's situation is the boys said, everybody thinks you're weird and you always touching us and making us uncomfortable. Now, that was a little different. The only thing that gets me with that is they took Lemon's liquor and and that has a lot of implications to that as well. But you're right. So if you're gonna compare Lemon to this Rodney situation, Rodney said something in the tweet that we can't prove, but Michael Jackson and Eli, yeah, and I'm gonna leave it right there, and I'm going to leave it right there. But they were adults. I will say that they were adults. Consensual, but they were adults. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And I'm not an anti-Lemon person. I'm just telling you what I heard. Well, you can deny it, but we heard what we heard. See how nuanced it becomes. But I'm gonna say this: 17 is the age of consent. Now, if you can prove that these people weren't consensual in their being involved, see, you got to prove that. You got to even prove that there was a person. First of all, you got to find the victims or the people who were. Then you got to see if it was consensual or not. And see, that's the heavy lifting. But with this other situation, we heard it on video and we heard it on tape. And we heard certain things. I'm just saying. So, mm, I'm just saying. Child, look, look. It depends on who you like. It depends on who you like. You know how that is. But if justice is blind, then you weigh it accordingly. That's it. Now, those young men were in their 20s. So they are adults. The consent thing is a little murky, but it is what it is. Personally, I wouldn't do all of that, but yeah, I couldn't even say because one minute they say don't touch me, but then the next minute they in the house drinking liquor. So, and I'm not victim or shaming either. I'm just telling you it's murky. It's murky. That's all. It's murky. That's all. I'm gonna leave it right there. But anyway, y'all, it's time for me to leave on out of here. And we'll see what happens. But I know people gonna have a field day, but like I said, JB long winded, you wrap that thing up. And I don't agree that, I mean, personally, my personal ethics is that's not what we should be doing. But again, that's my personal. Personal is personal. So, but the law says 17, age of consent, and I'm not exonerating or excusing. I'm not executing or exonerating. I just stated what the law said. That's it. Hmm. So y'all move on. We're going to go on and we're going to move a little higher. But we want to be logical thinkers over here. We know we got a lot of emotional thinkers, people who may not have emotional intelligence. Not to say that they're not intelligent, it's the emotional intelligence. And some socially unintelligent people. But at the end of the day, um, again, that's what I got to say about it. And y'all have a good one and be blessed. Bye.